Welcome back to Photo Finds. I am your host Kevin Yee, and we're going to get started this week in Fantasyland at the Magic Kingdom, where as you can see not only is Dumbo taking shape, we've got some of the Dumbos up on the arms now, so is the train station in the background, and that is some really good theming there, so the Storybook Land area looks very promising. A peek over the wall, this is taken from the ground floor at the Teacups, where you can see there's even more work going on the exterior of the Fantasyland Village. And then this area here at the outside of Little Mermaid has always been here, or not always, but has been here in some months, but the railing is kind of new there. A look at the DVC area. This is outside the Magic Kingdom on the Seven Seas Lagoon next to Grand Floridian. So they've really cleared land and they're pushing out into the bay here, and you can see a couple of piles of rocks that they've set up, and they've really disrupted operations at the wedding pavilion, but they no longer have need of that very close wall to block the view of what's going on. This is the other side of the monorail, so you can see the building is really going to probably wrap around where the monorail itself is. Now, this past week was the debut of the romance scene from the Magic the Memories and You, the castle projections at the Magic Kingdom. And it's hard to see, but this is Tramp, and this is Lady, and this is Lady and the Tramp being projected onto the castle. They got kind of the star theme going on, romance, some of the guest photos from the day, and then this gets harder to see, but the castle is being taken over by ivy and little roses. And if you zoom in a little bit, you can see it's for the stained glass window here. Tells this is the story of Snow White. And the stained glass window changes to be some of the other Disney princesses over time. So now we're at Beauty and the Beast. And it's really very hard to see unless you're quite close, as well as there being more ivy and more roses growing onto the castle. And then they have this effect at the end that kind of wipes it away and turns it into just a regular blue castle. And then you come with the lanterns from Tangled, which is kind of the moment that everyone remembers from the show, and it ends with a star. And so then after that they go back to the regular Magic Memories and You projections. The Hollywood Drive-In Golf is outside of Universal, and I thought I would show some of the progress here. They've really built up several of the rockwork scenes. They obviously are only going in fits and starts when it comes to the actual installation of show scenes. We see a couple of them. A few of them look like they might be kind of themed around horror, so there's like a crypt right there, and there's a graveyard in the back as well, and chainsaws here, but it could just as easily be themed after movies in general, or I guess kind of the science fiction theme especially. Now we've crossed under the bridge, and you'll see more UFO type things and aliens, like the big alien you see is a big thematic feature here, and then several of these guys who don't yet have their faces that will be on there by the time that the golf is finished. So that's kind of a theme that you see over and over again on this side of these little aliens. Here's something Universal's had for a little while, little buttons like Disney has. In this case, a celebrating button seems kind of new to me. This was given to my 5-year-old, who was cool apparently because he never answered when they talked to him. Spider-Man's about to go down pretty soon for a complete month while they overhaul the remaining screens that are not yet on high definition, and then the ride will be back up looking better than ever, possibly with some surprises. A quick stop here in the back near Jurassic Park where it meets Harry Potter, the Wizarding World. It wasn't always a Coke stop. In fact, you can see the watering hole is in old lettering and Coke stop is in new lettering. You see these new Coke signs. They still have the bar, however, with the tap at the front. And here again, the Coke stop and this edition of the Coke bottles that the dinosaurs are drinking from. In Epcot, something new has shown up in Innoventions called Habit Heroes. And the comic book front kind of shows you where we're going with this. Everyone gets their own color bracelet, and then we are ushered into an old-style gymnasium. Here you can see a shot of it there. And we watch a film here of the people who have trained theoretically at this gymnasium over time. And then we are taken to this modern-day, almost futuristic look at people who are worried about today's children, not getting enough exercise and eating poorly. It's really kind of the same message you see from Lazy Town, and so they're going to combat that by having us go through some paces. Now in this first game, we'll have the different colored lanyards or different colored bracelets are competing on teams. So you see each color has its own buttons on the side, and you're supposed to run to where you have a yellow if you're on the yellow team, and then hit the yellow button and it will zap that falling TV monitor. And so you're supposed to run around a little bit. There are not enough people on your team. You have to move around. The second room takes you into what is essentially Toy Story Midway Mania, where you can see two sides. You're only fighting one side at a time, either a daytime scene or a nighttime scene, and you're basically shooting junk food with your Toy Story Mania cannons. And in the last room, the instructors guide you through some aerobics and dance moves to make this guy jump around and dance. And so you see the disco lighting that comes into play here by the end on the floor, and then until finally your fat guy gets vanquished, and then the ride is over. This experience is over. That's what it looks like when you first go in. Here's the posters on your way out that show that you've done it, and it's not done yet, but there's going to be some stations here where you can send some photos to yourself by email after the experience is over. That does it for another week. We thank you for stopping by, and we'll catch you next time.